So you're going to share the screen? Okay.
Done.
We'll see. Let me share the screen as well. I'm sharing the screen as well. Okay. We'll start in 1 minute. Session 4. We'll just start after 30 seconds. I hope people are joined on YouTube channel as well. We'll start in 30 seconds. Okay. So let me start. So in these 2 days, 3 days, sorry, in 3 days, we learn many concepts, right? As I told you earlier, that maybe today for most of the people may be a last class, but I'm telling you one thing, which as advice you all have to follow if you want to get success. Because if you, the reason why I'm saying, if you consider, as I told yesterday, if you consider from my 17, 18 year experience, right? So I'm trying to tell you one thing very straightforward, right? To getting a success, there is no magic, there is no recipe. The only recipe is that you have to take the topics, go one by one each topic, go one by one each topic, and prepare in such a way that if any question comes from that topic, that you definitely get able to get the answer. Never try to read one line or one page for this topic, one page for that topic. Don't do this. Whatever topic you prepared in such a way that each and every question can be settled from there. Yesterday we learned about delete and truncate. We learn about high watermark. We learn about why truncate is faster and delete is slower. We learn about some scenario based question that I have to delete a huge amount of data, and I have to suppose my table has 1 million record, and my table contains 30 seconds to read the data, and I remove 90% of the record. Still, my table is my query is taking the same 30 seconds to read the data. So this is some scenario based question we learned yesterday. I hope you all receive my video is available on Tech Deeksha YouTube channel or on our Facebook group. The video is available. Receive the notes. I hope all clear. Let's go to the concept today. I'm talking about the concept of keys. Okay. Most of the time I saw, there are 12, 13 WhatsApp group we have, many Facebook group we have. People ask this question continuously: keys, what is primary key, what is unique key, what is super key, what is candidate key, what is surrogate key. These type of keys, people get confused. Foreign keys. One line you always remember one thing I always tell you: the concept never change. Okay. Key is a very important funda. Key means what? Key means a key which can open the lock. Simple funda, simple English. Key which can open the lock. Simple. This is what we know about keys. If somebody talking about keys, so they can know keys who can open the lock. Simple. So always remember, there is no need to get confused with primary key, unique key, candidate key, super key, surrogate key. No need to get confused. Whoever is asking anything, just give me 1 second. Whoever is asking anything, you have to just one-liner funda. You just remember this one-liner funda. Key is key, which is used to uniquely identify the data. Uniquely identify the data. Does not matter which key you are talking about. No need to get it memorize anything. No need to get memorize anything. Oh man. No need to get memorize anything. People don't ping me on WhatsApp. I'm just saying again, everybody, all groups link is shared. Please join from there. Okay, which is You don't need who is asking what question, primary key, unique key, candidate key, super key, surrogate key. Never get confused. Key, always you have to give one line answer. First line. Does not matter what key they are asking. Key is a key. Always remember how to answer is very important. What to answer, if you given start answering, sir, super keys, this key, that key, candidate key, this, it means you are memorizing. Don't need to memorize anything. Concept is very clear. Key is key which is used to uniquely identify them. Does not matter. I am talking about primary key, unique key, super key, candidate key, surrogate key. Does not matter. The one line is a straightforward definition. Key is key which is used to uniquely identify the data. Now, all key has their own characteristics. We are talking about that characteristics of the each and every key. Either what is primary, what is unique, what is candidate, what is surrogate, and what is super. We talk about all this, okay? But the basic line definition of all the keys is the key is key which is used to uniquely identify the data. Let's talk about the first very easy concept. Almost everybody know. Let's start with the easy one, then we get to confused one. Primary key and unique key. Simple. What is primary key and unique key? Let's go with the straightforward funda. Very easy funda. What is primary key and unique key? Let's go a definition. First of all, I will go with composite primary key also. Primary key and composite primary key. Also, let's go with this funda also. Okay, both. Let's take an example. The same example I gave in each and every of my sessions. From last 18 session, I'm giving the same example. The same example I'm repeating because I think this is the easiest one. Take an example. Suppose my name is Vishal. It's a very common name. Very common name. If you are living in India, this name is very common. There are three Vishal in a class. Vishal Jaiswal, Vishal Singh, Vishal Gupta. The teacher came in the class and listen this example. If you understand the example, you are able to talk in the interview. If you start explaining just a definition, try to understand it. Your work is to impress to the interviewer. Remember, I told you, remember, we are not going for a Tinder date. We are going to impress the interviewer with your knowledge, and you have to kill his 50 minutes. Right? Understand the example. Suppose there are three students, Vishal Jaiswal, Vishal Gupta, Vishal Singh. Okay, three people. A teacher come in the class and teacher said, Vishal scored 50 out of 50. Think about the situation. Vishal scored 50 out of 50. We don't know who Vishal is. There are three Vishals. Means the teacher statement is not able to uniquely identify the data, not able to uniquely identify the candidate. Who is the student who scored 50 out of 50? We cannot say that because teacher just said one line, Vishal scored 50 out of 50. But in every school, in every college, wherever we learn, we have a roll number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, anything, just like roll number. Vishal Singh, Vishal Jaiswal, Vishal Gupta. They all have different roll numbers. If teacher said Vishal Jaiswal roll number 34, he scored 50 out of 50. We easily knows that exactly which student is. There is no need to tell about the name Vishal. He just say roll number 34. Even no need to say Vishal roll number 34 scored 50 out of 50. No need to say that. He just say one line, roll number 34 scored 50 out of 50. It means roll number 34 is used to uniquely identify the data which student I am talking about. There is no, if the teacher not using roll number, if teacher just say name Vishal, it means I'm not able to uniquely identify. Simple. There are three students in the class. If teacher said roll number 34, teacher no need to say the name. Teacher just say roll number 34 is scored 50 out of 50. Everybody knows that which student I'm talking about. It means roll number is used to uniquely identify the data. So roll number is called primary key. Primary key is something same like key, but primary key same the definition, which used to uniquely identify the data, but there is only one primary key in a table. Take the same example. Let's extend the example. Teacher go to the principal and teacher said that, ma'am, I have a student, roll number 34, is a very tough exam and he scored 50 out of 50. We have to give him some prize. Okay, the principal is agreed. And principal make an announcement. Roll number 34, come to my cabin. I have a prize for you. Think about it. Teacher said roll number 34 is a uniquely identified. But when principal said roll number 34, come to my cabin, I will give a prize. In that school, if there are 10 classes going on, grade 1 to grade 10, grade 1 to grade 10, there are 10 students. For each grade, we have roll number 34. So 10 students go to the class, go to the principal cabin and say, give me the prize, because you just announces that who scored 50 out of 50, I want to give the prize. I am roll number 34, give me the prize. Then teacher said, oh my God, I did a mistake. So what principal will say? Principal can say roll number 34, grade 6. Principal will use two lines, roll number plus grade. When principal use these two columns, roll number and grade, then actually principal actually identify the actual Vishal Jaiswal who scored 30, who scored 50 out of 50, and he give the prize. So what is happening? There are two things which is used to uniquely identify the data. It means composite primary key. When there is a more than one column comes and uniquely identify the data, composite primary key. Same situation. Suppose the principal go to the district magistrate and say that we have a student of roll number 34, grade 6, and we have to give him prize. He scored exceptionally in 50 out of 50. The principal, the district magistrate said, okay, I will give the prize. District magistrate announces the whole district. Roll number 36, roll number 34, grade 6, come to my office. I will give you a prize. Think about it. In the whole city, if there are 50 schools are going on, every school has a roll number 34 and grade 6. So 50 students will go to the principal, to the district magistrate office and say, give me the prize, because you announces that you will give the prize. So what did the mistake? Because he followed the same thing. So district magistrate should say grade 6 plus roll number 34 plus suppose Kendra Vidyalaya. Please come to my office, I will give the prize. It happening 1, 2, 3 columns. Does not matter as many columns I'm using. I'm just trying to say you composite primary concept never change. Just composite means more than one column. If who is not muted, please mute. Please mute. Man, yaar, ye alag khatam. Siddesh, please mute. I muted you. Siddesh, I try to mute you. Okay. So composite primary key concept means what? Composite primary key, if more than one columns are come together to uniquely identify the data, I'm calling you as composite primary key. There is a very good question coming on composite primary key in few minutes. See, now I'm just giving you a definition. Start with the normal concept, go to the complex concept. Normal concept is key is a key which is used to uniquely identify the data. Primary key is the key which uniquely identify the data. Characteristic, what is the characteristic of primary key? There is only one primary key in a table. There is only primary key and composite primary key, both are same. Composite primary key means more than one column used to uniquely identify the data, the example I gave. And primary key means normal primary key means only one column which used to uniquely identify the data, that is called primary key. More than one is composite primary key. The characteristics of the primary key is primary key cannot accept null value. Primary key is a not null. Why cannot accept null value? Because null is undefined, unknown. We don't know the value of null. And primary key is saying that I am used to uniquely identify the data. I am used to uniquely identify the data. So null is not coming here. So this is the characteristics of the primary key. Primary key is unique. Primary key will never duplicate. And primary key will not null. Always. And there is only one primary key in a table. I will discuss in a few minutes. A very good question for the people more than 10-year experience, right? Why there is only one primary key in a table? I am discussing in a few minutes. So these are the basic concepts of primary key. If I'm talking about unique key, what is unique key? Unique key is the same. Unique key is the same. Key is a key which is used to uniquely identify the data. But in case of primary key, there is only one primary key. But unique key, there is more than one unique key possible. There is more than one unique key possible in a table. Just take an example. Why? How like this? For example, suppose you own a car, right? You own a car, and your car is stolen. Okay. Just take a scenario like this. Suppose you are driving a car, and suddenly you jump a red light. When you jump a red light, and you saw there is no police, you are happy. But after a few days, you receive a letter at your home that your car number DL6CJ1234, you jump this red light at that particular red light, and you have to pay the fine of 1,000 rupees. Okay, you receive this letter. How did they know that you have to pay? Because this car number is unique. In the DMV office, DMV is called in US. In India, it is called RTO office. In RTO office or DMV office, this car number is uniquely identified. That everybody knows this car will be driven by Vishal is the owner. He live on this address, XYZ, that address. Everything is stored. Means just by using this car number, they know about all the details. So this is called primary key. But think about the situation. Suppose my car is stolen. If my car is stolen, so what the thief will do first thing? They will change your number plate. They change the number plate, they throw the number plate. Means primary key is gone, which you able to identify this car belongs to Vishal. But after a few days, you receive a call from the police that your car will be on that particular police station. Go and pick your car. How the police knows? Because there are many other things, just like your engine number, your chassis number. These all are also unique in the car, which is not shared by any other car. So this is also unique. But there are more than one values. We can call it unique. It's up to us. There is a question coming in the interview that how do you identify that which column I can make a primary key, which column I can make a unique key. Focus on the concept of primary key and unique key. All these keys concept. Just focus on the concept. Key means key which you use to uniquely identify the data. Then I'm talking about primary key and composite primary key. Primary key and composite primary key both are same. Primary key means one column which you use to uniquely identify the data. Composite primary key means is more than one column used to uniquely identify the data. Then I call it a composite primary key. The example I gave, the same example you have to give to the interviewer. Just like Vishal, roll number 34, only one column roll number, composite simple primary key. Roll number 34 and grade 6. Principal is saying like that, two columns combination, composite primary key. There is only one primary key in a table, and primary key is a not null value. Primary key never duplicate, right? Unique key, there are many questions come in the interview. How do you decide who is primary key, unique key? Why there is only one primary key? And how can I make two primary key? There are many questions coming in the interview, right? Scenario based question. I'm discussing few minutes. Unique key is the same, used to uniquely identify the data. But there is only one primary key, more than one unique key possible. More than one unique key possible, right? Primary key not allow null, unique key allow null. Now there is a little bit difference between Microsoft and Oracle here. I will discuss in few minutes. Okay. Primary key, unique key allow null. In case of Oracle, let me create a table. Then we have easy to understand. Create table emp info id number. How to create primary key? Suppose id number, there is another column, suppose making e name varchar 2 20 comma department id number. This simple table creation. You want to make a primary key, just go and write here primary key. This become primary key. Simple. Has become primary key. I just run it here. A primary key will be created. I hope you all know about this concept. Primary key, just create a primary key. I told you primary key is unique. If I make insert into emp info, I want to insert the value, suppose id 1, name I insert for example Vishal, and department I insert for example 10. I try to insert this data will be inserted into the table. Oh, sorry. Values. Data will be inserted into the table. Good. If I go and check here, select star from emp info, I can see the data is here. The same data inserted. Suppose I want to insert this data again. One more time, id a, name Jaswal. The first column, id column, I make it primary key. I try to insert it again, it gives me error. That unique constant violation. You cannot insert a record because they're already one present. This is the characteristics of the primary key, that duplicate value not allowed. Simple concept. I'm not allowing duplicate value. This is a concept of the primary key. I'm not allowing duplicate value, primary key concept. If we're talking about unique key concept, what is happening? We cannot allow null. If you try to insert null, we cannot insert null into primary key. You see the error. Cannot insert null. Because null is, always remember one line, null is undefined and unknown. We don't know the value of null. For example, if I'm asking you 5 plus 3, everybody know the answer 8. How do you know 8? Because you know what is 5. You know what is 3. You know the face value of 5. You know the face value of 3. So you know that the sum become 8. Correct. 5 minus 3. You know that answer will be 2. Because I know what is the face value of 5. What is the face value of 3? But I'm talking about 5 plus null. The answer will be null. Reason? I don't know what is null. Null is undefined, unknown. If I write it here, see, select 5 plus 3 from dual. Answer will be 8. Because 5 plus 3 value is 8. little bit slow. Well, value is 8. But if I write here 5 plus null, it will be null because null is undefined unknown. We don't know the value of null. We don't know the value of null. This is null. Any value becomes because null is undefined. We cannot make it that undefined unknown. Now, when I go to the concept of unique key, right, in the same example, for example, here, this is the first interview question I'm discussing. Let me drop this table. Drop table emp info. Let me drop this table. It's a little bit slow. Sorry. Come on. Please. Okay. For unique key, I just write it here unique. That's it. This become this column unique. Unique key behave like same, just like primary key. I inserted this record. It is working fine. Table created. So in data inserted, I go to select star from info. I can see the data into the table. Suppose I can go and insert the data again. Make another data 2. I make it Jaswal and try to insert 10 again. It gives me error. Same error, unique constant violation. Same error which coming the primary key means this data can also come in 20. The data will be inserted. Different data. Select star from info. That's okay. But suppose I insert here null. You can see that. Here's a question coming. 3. Null will be inserted. Again I make it another null. Null will be inserted. Now this is the first question in the interview. Difference between primary key and unique key. Very common question. When you give this difference between primary key and unique key, you have to say that you can see it here. Unique key allow null. You can see this data is a unique key. It is not allowed duplicate value, but null is allowed more than one time. More than one time null allowed. More than one time null allowed in case of unique key. Why? Why? The reason is why. Sometimes people can say that difference, right? That unique key and primary key. Primary key not allow null, unique key allow null. And unique key allow more than one time null. Then interviewer asks you, why more than one time null allowed? Always remember, whenever you learn anything, learn from the concept wise. Why null is allowed more than one time? Think here. If suppose I'm trying to insert 10, this value. If I'm trying to insert suppose 5, right? Or suppose 4, I'm trying to insert 4. I'm trying to insert any value, suppose 30. If my table already contains 4, I'm trying to insert 4 again, it will give me error. Unique constant violation. How do you give the error? Because it will check this value 4 is already exist here 4. So he can say value already exists. So unique constant violation. Unique means only one value allowed. You are trying to insert duplicate value. I will not allow. Done. We got it. Why this error is coming. But when I'm inserting null here, you can see I'm third time inserting null. When I'm inserting null here, the value inserted. You know why? Because when the null I'm trying to insert it here into the database, it go and check, is the null already exist? So it try to compare this null, and null is undefined unknown. We cannot compare null. We cannot compare null. We don't know the value. Here I'm trying to insert 4 again. So it will try to compare this 4 with this 4 and say, sorry, you can't insert. Because this 4 here already exists here. So you cannot insert 4. It will stop you. But in case of null, it's not able to identify because this null is undefined unknown. How can I compare? 4 is compared to 4 because I know what is the face value of 4. But I cannot know the face value of null. So I cannot compare this null, and this null, and this null. They all are different because they cannot equal to and cannot not equal to. We don't know. If you don't know, it means database consider every null is a unique. That's why unique key allows all null, unique key allow multiple null values in Oracle. In Microsoft, things are a little bit different. I will discuss on that part. So here in null, the first question into the interview, they're asking that why it is allowed null multiple times, because null is allowed a unique key because every null is unique and null is undefined unknown. So we cannot compare one null to another null. So null is Null is allowed only because of this scenario. And a table contains more than one unique keys. For example, see here, come here again, and let me drop a table. I am writing here unique, comma, salary, number, unique. Now suppose I can make it primary key. I cannot make more than one primary key. I will let you know why. I will discuss this scenario. Table have only one, it gives me error. But when I make it unique, I'm able to insert more than one unique key. So what we learn? That there is only one primary key allowed in the table, but there is not more than, but there is only one primary key allowed, but more than one unique key allowed into the table, right? Very simple. We understand it till here. Now there is a question coming, a small question. Let's discuss on primary key, unique key, all scenario based question. Interviewer can ask you a question. If there are two columns in a table, I have two columns which are used to uniquely identify the data. My table X, Y, Z. My table contains column A and column B. Both are used to uniquely identify the data. How can you decide that which one is a primary key, which one is a unique key? This interview question, scenario based question, primary key, unique key. That I have a table contains column A and column B. How do you define that which column, which is primary key and which is unique key? Normally, primary key, unique key, this discussion will be done when we are doing data modeling, and that will be done by conceptual level or logical level, basically not conceptual, logical level. But here in the interview, interviewer just want to test your concept of primary key and unique key. So how you have to answer this question? You have to answer this question first, right? That primary key and unique key both are same. Both are same. Both are used to uniquely identify the data. The only difference between both are that primary key not allow null, not allow null, and unique key allow null. This is the only difference, primary key and unique key. It means unique key is equal to primary key, sorry, primary key is equal to unique key plus not null. Basically, that is called primary key. So first you can say that out of these two columns, if we know in future any particular column can possibly contains null value, can possibly contains null, if there is any possibility that any data can become null, so that is definitely not a primary key, because this is the characteristics of a primary key, that it is not allowing null value. This is the character of a primary key, not allowing null value. So it is not allowing null value. So in any of these two columns, which column is possibly contain null, I will not consider that as a primary key. That must be unique key. As soon as you tell, interviewer will tell you, no, that is sure that both of them will not contain null in the future. That is perfectly sure. Then you can say, if it is, then I will prefer number column. Who is number data type? I will prefer number data type as a primary key. Why? I will discuss in a few minutes. Number data column, if there is a number data column, number data type, I will consider that as a primary key, and other one is a unique key. Then interviewer maybe ask you, both are number data type. Then you can say, if both are number data type and both is confirmed that nobody will contain null value in future, then I can consider any one of them as a primary key, any one of them as a unique key. There is no difference. Sometime interviewer asks, suppose I want two primary key in a table. Suppose I want, can I create a two primary key in a table? Is it possible? Understand the scenario based question I'm discussing. We are still on just primary key, unique key. Think about all possible scenario. Can I create two primary key in a table? Or why there is no two primary key in a table? Both are the question. Right? Answer is obviously no. Obviously no. Because the concept of primary key is there is only one primary key. This answer everybody will give. Everybody knows who go for an interview that they definitely know that there is only one primary key. If you don't know there is only one primary key, it means you are not ready for the interview. Please don't go for it. So that answer everybody can give. Somebody can ask you, can I create two primary key? Definitely, obviously no. But how to answer? How to answer this question? You have to answer is, obviously no, sir. But I could certainly, definitely, I can mimic a secondary primary key. How can you do that? Because if there is because my table contains only one primary key, that is a rule, and I can create multiple unique key. That is possible. I few minutes before, if you see, I created here more than one unique keys. Table contains more than one unique key. So I will take my unique key and make it not null constant. If my unique key become not null, unique not null, it means there is not null value allowed. So my this unique key start behaving like primary key. Start behaving like primary key. Simple. Are you getting my point? Let me repeat it again. I have one primary key. Can you create a two primary key? Obviously no. But there is some mimic or some tricks I can create it. How? The first trick is, if there is unique key, I can make that unique key as a not null constant. Because primary key is equivalent to unique key. Or second is, if the people who knows about indexing, I will discuss more. If there is a column, on that column I can create a unique index. If I create a unique index, the people who does not know about indexing, don't worry about it. I'll discuss the full lecture on indexing. If a particular column, we can create a unique index not null, it means I can have create multiple primary key in a table. Suppose I can create 3 columns, and all the columns I can create a unique index not null. I can create multiple, actually primary key, not only two primary key, multiple primary key I can create. Just a way. I cannot tell that you are primary key, but I can mimic the same thing by using unique key not null or create a unique index not null. So I can effectively, I can create multiple primary key on a table. Hope you all getting this, right? For example, if I create this table like this, create table test ID number primary key, comma, name varchar2 20 unique not null. You can see that actually in this scenario I have created two primary keys. This is just a way of answering. Understand it, how to answer the concept. Question is, can I create two primary key? No. But always tell like this, but everybody say no. That everyone knows. Everybody knows in this whole wide world that there is no two primary key. But how you make a difference? Always remember my one line. Today, most of you is the last class, but remember my one line always, how to answer. You have to answer here. Just never say no. Everybody saying no. You can go and try to Google. You can try to find out the one line answer. No, I cannot create two primary key. But how to answer? Sir, we cannot create two primary key. No, this is not the concept. The concept never change. Concept is a table contains only one primary key. But as a developer, what the database developer do? We are playing with data. We are database professionals. Database professional work is what? Playing with data. We are getting paid it. Companies paid us just to play with data. This is what we are doing, right? So, but we can mimic the same thing by creating a unique key with not null, because primary key is what? Unique key plus not null. Primary key, unique key, both are same. Only difference is what? Primary key is only one, unique key more than one. Primary key not allow null value, unique key allow null value. If I make a unique key without null value, it means it start behaving like primary key. So I can mimic that thing. And not only one, not only two primary key, you can consider multiple primary key in a table. You can make it if you just consider this concept, unique index not null or unique key with not null. Now the answer is in the question, right? That why? Now let's discuss about the question. I'm discussing for more than 6, 7, 8, 10-year experience people. Okay, for everybody, if you're about to give the answer. Why I have only, anybody can give me the answer? Why I have only one primary key? Why not two? The one concept we know that yes, I can create, means I can mimic, not create basically. I can mimic, and by using the concept of unique and not null, I can create multiple primary key. Means I am able to do that. But question is, why I have only one primary key? Anybody can try to give me the answer? This is the very good question. The people who think about primary key, unique is very easy topic. Why Vishal is spending so much time in the morning? You awake at 7 a.m. and Vishal is talking about primary key, unique key. Anybody can give me the answer. Why I have only one primary key in the table? Who gives me answer? Anyone?
Because it's interlinked with foreign key.
How foreign key? No. No. Okay, 1 second. I will discuss this. Very good question you said. When I discuss foreign key, I will let you know this question that you said when interlinked with the foreign key. Never say this answer, and please, from wherever you read, just go your bookmark and remove that particular website. I will discuss this concept of the foreign key. People has a very wrong concept that primary foreign keys always refer to a primary key. It's a very wrong concept written on so many websites, right? Okay, index is default on primary key. This concept is totally wrong. Totally wrong. Index is not by default on a primary key. It's a very good concept. I will discuss very thoroughly in the next class. Very good question in the interview for more than 8, 9, 10 year experience people. Okay, I will discuss this. Okay. Now the question, let me discuss the concept. What is the concept we are discussing? The concept we are discussing is why my table contains, okay, somebody raising a hand. Raju Shetty, you raise your hand, tell me. Okay, no issue. Let me discuss the concept. Why I have only one primary key? Think about the situation. Very good question. How I know that? Let's talk about why I have only one primary key. The people who done B or B Tech, right, in the college level or BCA, whatever you learn about college, we learn about the concept of functional normalization. You learn about normalization. The people who does not learn normalization, that's okay. I will discuss in sometimes in a certain class. There is a many normalization concept: first normal form, second normal form, third normal form, fourth normal form, BCNF, and a lot of this. There is a concept of second normal form. Okay, normally our database in third normal form we are putting in the table. I will not discussing what normalization right now. I'm discussing about primary key, unique key, right? Never go beyond your topic. Where topic is primary key, unique key. There is a concept of functional dependency. What is the second? The people who knows about second normal form. Second normal form saying you have a functional dependency. What is functional dependency means? Functional dependency means if listen my word, I'm telling you exactly same as it is what is written in the books, because I remember when I was doing my engineering, I exactly remember the same thing. Memorize, you can say. Remember, not a good word. Memorize the same thing. If A and B, two columns, used to uniquely identify the column C, then it is not possible that A alone can identify C or B alone can identify C. What does it mean? What does it mean? A and B are used to uniquely identify C. It means I create a composite primary key of A and B combination. These are used to uniquely identify this data C. If A and B, these two column combination is used to uniquely identify the data C, A and B uniquely identify the data C, then it is not possible that A alone can identify C and B alone can identify C. It is not possible because I create a primary key. I create a primary key, and primary key means which is used to uniquely identify the data. And I'm creating in A and B these two columns as a composite primary key, and I'm saying the combination of A and B will use to uniquely identify the data C. So fully functional dependency concept is saying, right, if A and B belongs to C, so it is not possible that A belongs to C or B belongs to C. And when we move to third normal form, then there is a concept, it must be backward compatibility. Means it must have first normal form, plus it must have second normal form, and then we go to the third normal form, right? So now here the question, now whenever giving this answer to the interview, that why I have only one primary key, you have to give this logic first, that because of the concept of normalization, in second normal, the people who don't understand normalization, don't upset. We will discuss in a full class. I'm talking about primary key. So I just took this question is for more than 10-year people, 8 year plus important question. So why we have only one primary key, right? The reason is in the normalization concept, fully functional dependency is saying, second normal form concept is saying, if A and B belongs to C, if A and B used to identify C, then it is not possible that A alone can identify C or B alone can identify C. And when we move to third normal form, so by default, everything will be second normal form, right? We can consider that options by using unique with this concept, but here it is not possible because the concept of normalization. Because of this, our table contains only one primary key, because this both are used to uniquely identify this data. So if these both are unique combination used to identify data, this is concept of fully functional dependency, fully functional. If you go to Google, this is not my word, this is the word database. Let me write it here. If you fully functional dependency. See, fully functional dependency example. It's the exact database word. What is fully functional? Go to normalization concept. You know the database concept, fully functional dependency. This concept is saying if A and B used to identify C, then it is not possible that A alone can identify C and B alone can identify C. It is not possible. So that's why database will not follow two primary key concept, because when you move to third normal form in our RDBMS, it by default it must have second normal form. Anybody, any question on this? Anybody, any question on this? Let's take one more example here. Let's discuss one scenario based question, one more scenario based question. In an interview, I have a question. Interviewer say, I have a table in my database, create table XYZ. Okay. ID, number. See this, I'm not getting primary key. I just created ID number. This is the general scenario in every database, every project. Insert into XYZ values, ALUS values 1. Let me insert this data. Let me insert one more time. Let me insert one more time. Let me insert one more time. I inserted 3-4 times. Select star from XYZ. If I see this table, my table contains one ID column that contains duplicate data. Show me, yes, duplicate data. Interview tell you this question. This question, what I just tell, this question is asked in Amazon, I think so. I think so, yes, Amazon. Very good question it is. Okay. And you never think that this question asking Amazon, so it will not ask in Infosys. I know Infosys, TCS, they are easy in interview, but you know the people who is taking your interviews, they are giving interviews for Amazon and Facebook. So they already prepare this question. So because they prepared, they will test your knowledge with his knowledge. This is human tendency, right? If I know something, I will test my knowledge with you. Okay, this is what happening. So somebody who's preparing for that, they already prepared this question, they will ask you this type of concept. Question is, my table contains duplicate value. You can see that here duplicate data. Everybody can see that here is duplicate data. Interviewer tell you my table contains duplicate data, but in production, I have a table in production which contains duplicate data. And you know that from production, we cannot delete. So I cannot delete existing data because of my business rule. My business stopped me to deleting data from production environment. I cannot delete data, but I want to restrict, or I want to stop the further duplication. I want this ID column cannot be duplicated. I know that currently is to duplicate data, and because of some business rule, I cannot delete. I cannot delete data, but I want to make a restriction that in this table there is no further duplication. No further duplication. What can we do? What can we do? If you remember, I tell you one thing always in my Facebook group, if you follow, all right, or WhatsApp, wherever, I always tell one thing. On my first lecture also, I tell you one thing. Whenever you don't know that somebody asks a question, I don't know the answer, or maybe you never read that, or maybe Vishal never teach us, or maybe I never find it somewhere in the top 50 interview question, and somebody asks me this question, what should I do? Always go to the base concept. Go to the base concept, you got your answer. The question is, I don't want duplicate data. If you don't want duplicate data, means that column must become primary key or unique key. There are only two things who can stop you to inserting duplicate data. That is primary or unique. That's it. There is no other thing which can stop you. No other thing which can stop you. Only primary key and unique key is able to stop the data. It means if I add a primary key constraint here on this column, if I make this column as a primary key, so definitely I will able to stop the data. Nobody can insert a duplicate data. So let's try to make a primary key. What can I do that? Alter table, ALTER, alter table name, alter table name, add constraint name. Name can be anything. PK underscore Vishal, does not matter. PK underscore Vishal. Add constraint name, primary key ID. Means on this particular ID column, I create a primary key. When I go and try to create a primary key, it gives you error. It gives you error. Why it gives you error? Because my table contains duplicate data. My table contains duplicate data. When you try to create a primary key, it will go and check each and every record and see, hello, I cannot create a primary key on this column because this column contains duplicate data. And the property of primary key is what? Cannot duplicate. This is the property of primary key. The property of primary keys cannot duplicate. We cannot make it. This question is very important question. We cannot make it duplicate data because we have duplicate data in the table and we cannot delete duplicate. This is the restriction given by the interviewer. And how to make a particular data restrict to the user? User cannot insert duplicate value. If I make it, whoever is join at 10:15, I better you to please go through the session. No need to join if you join so late. So from the primary key is unique key. Sorry, primary key and unique key is here what? Primary key and unique key. Only two things can stop the data duplication. And my table can have duplicate data already. So I cannot make it. I cannot create a primary key. So what is the answer of this question? The scenario-based question in the interview. My table in a production, I cannot delete duplicate data. My table contains duplicate data, but still I don't want any further duplication. You don't want further duplication. It means you have to create primary or unique key. But when I try to go and create a primary key, then it will give me error that you cannot create it. Then there is a concept is coming called deferrable no validate. I will discuss this deferrable example in more detail when I discuss about foreign key. So for here, because foreign key concept is coming a lot here, so I don't go more primary key term. So deferrable no validate is a concept. When I make it deferrable no validate, then what is happening? This primary key will be created. Let's see in few minutes. Table altered key. We can see here. Table contains duplicate data. Let me try to enter into XYZ values 1. I'm trying to insert, it will stop me. Same error. Unique constant violation. It behave like a primary key. No further duplication allowed. I hope you get the question. I have a table in my production that contains duplicate data. I should stop. I already stop it because primary key is not allowed here. Hope you are getting my point, right? Understand here?
Sir, can we create this deferrable no validate with unique key as well?
Now there is a yes, deferrable. I just stopped it because when we discuss about foreign keys, then again this concept will come. So that's why I stop it here. I just make list the keys concept. I will again come on all these things. This main concept coming at the time of foreign key. Then I will discuss more deferrable no validate and deferrable how exactly deferrable will behave. So I discuss on that. For a time being, because this scenario based question, you just understand that deferrable is saying whatever I did in my past, please forgive me. From now onwards, I am very loyal to you. Whatever I did in my past, please don't validate. From now onwards, I am loyal to you. And loyal to you means what? When the new data is coming, I will always check. There is no duplicacy. But whatever I did in my past, please don't talk about my past. That's it, what no validate is. No validate concept will not only working with foreign key, it work with check constant. I discuss everything when constant and all things will come. I will discuss all the thing in more detail. This is one scenario-based question we discuss. There's one question I don't want to forget about primary key. There is one more question. We discuss about the concept of primary key and composite primary key. What I tell you, primary key, only one column, which is used to uniquely identify the data. When more than one column comes into the picture and try to uniquely identify the data, then that column is called composite primary key. For example, there's a very good question here. Create table supplier. For example, I'm creating a table supplier. I write it here, supplier underscore ID, for example, number. Okay, make example not null. Okay, I'm writing it here, supplier underscore name. Here, varchar 2 20. I write it here, contact name, anything, varchar 2 20. I want to create a composite primary key. Suppose I can make a combination. I make a composite primary key, constraint any name, suppose supplier underscore pk primary key as a combination of supplier id comma supplier name. Now see, there is a very good question here, comma supplier name, a table created. This is a composite primary key. Composite primary key means what? How can I say composite primary key? Because these key contains two columns. Primary key contains more than one column. More than one column. It means composite primary key. Now interview question. Interview question is, I have interview like this. I have a table. Which table contains a composite primary key? Composite primary key means you understand, right? More than one column. You can say yes, sir. Yes, I understand. There is a supplier ID. Right? I type into table name supplier values. Suppose supplier name null and contact name C. Can I insert a null into supplier name column? I purposely insert null. Not null means you cannot insert null. Simple concept. There is no difference. Supplier name column is not insert a null.
Sir, your voice is again breaking.
Here, what you know about primary key? Primary key means. Anybody else have problem with this? Anybody else can tell
Yeah,
me?
Vishal.
Yes, Vishal.
Voice
We are
is
not
breaking.
able to hear you.
Vishal, your voice is breaking, Vishal.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Now it is fine.
Let me change the network. Give me 1 second. Okay. Do you all able to listen me now? Is it okay now? Everyone, please confirm.
Yes.
Yeah, it is fine.
Yes, fine.
Yes,
We can
now
listen.
it's proper. Now it's proper.
Okay. I changed the network. Sorry. I have a table. My table contains a composite primary key. Means more than one column which is used to uniquely identify the data. More than one column which is used to uniquely identify the data. Supplier ID and supplier name. Two columns. Two columns used to uniquely identify the data means this is composite primary key. Interview question is, can I insert null in supplier name column? Can I insert this column as a supplier name? It means I try to insert data like this. Insert into supplier values, suppose 1 comma null comma C. Can I insert the data here? Do you all able to listen me now? Do you all able to see my screen, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, see this question. See this question. Interview question. This null I'm trying to insert into supplier name. Supplier name is not identify anything as a null or not null. Means you can insert anything. Here I make it not null. Means definitely null is not allowed. Here I'm not defining anything. Means you can insert any value. That is okay. So can I insert a null? It's a very good question on composite primary key. Remember this. Primary key is the most respected person of the family of the database. Composite primary key is primary key is the most respected person of the whole family of the database. Most respected because it is used to uniquely identify the data. Supplier name is a part of primary key now. Supplier name is a part of primary key. When you come to my family, you have to follow my custom. Remember that line I told you yesterday also? When you come to my family, you have to follow my custom. Supplier name alone is not a primary key, but supplier name is a part of a composite primary key. So even this value you cannot insert a null record. It will give you error. Cannot insert null. Because null is going to supplier name column, and supplier name column is a part of primary key. It's not a primary key, but it's a part of primary key. Because it's a part of primary key, that's why you cannot insert null. Because once you come to my family, you have to follow my custom. And the custom of the primary key is, the uniqueness of the primary key is, primary key not allow null value. So does not matter you are a primary key or you are a part of primary key. You are not allowing null value. Simple concept. Understand? Any confusion anybody in this question? This question are coming in interview. Primary key we're just talking about primary key, unique key. So many scenario based question.
So duplicate can allow because primary key is treated not duplicate,
No,
but
no, this
sometimes supplier
this
will
how can this is the concept of the, you can, let's say I'm inserting one, I'm inserting name Vishal. See, this data will be inserted. Again, I'm trying to insert here. Insert into one. That's all. This is not duplicate. These are unique value. Try to understand it. The combination is primary key is not supplier ID alone. Primary key is this combination, supplier ID and supplier name. 1 plus Vishal is one value and 1 plus Jaiswal is another value. Both are different. So both are treated as a different data. So unique data, they are not duplicate. This value is allowed. But if I try to insert again one Jaiswal, it will give me error. Unique constraint violation, because 1 and Jaiswal, this combination is a primary key, composite primary key, more than one column. This combination cannot be duplicate, not only one. I can insert here 2 comma Jaiswal, the data will be inserted. Jaiswal is coming multiple times. I go here, select star from supplier. I go here and I can see multiple times Jaiswal is coming, but this Jaiswal come with 2, this Jaiswal come with 1. So these both are unique, different. These both are unique, both are different. Same thing is coming whenever talking about candidate key, super key. One line always remember, every key is key, which used to uniquely identify the data. Then what is candidate key, what is super key? The minimal super key is primary key. What is minimal super key means? Suppose I have a table, contains here, for example, I'm writing select star from HR.employees. See this data. Understand this line. Please mute. Whoever is not muted, please mute. Try to understand it. You always get confused. People ping me so many times. Sir, what is candidate key? What is super key? What is this key? What is that key? So please listen carefully. Key means key, which is used to uniquely identify the data. Now every key has their own characteristics, but the main funda is what? Uniquely identify the data. I'm talking about suppose super key. Super key means what? Which used to uniquely identify the data, the base concept. For example, in this data, if I say select star from employer where employee ID is equal to 100 and first name is equal to Steven and last name is equal to King and email is equal to King and all the column combinations suppose I can make. I don't know what is primary key or not, but I make all the column combination, it give me only one data. It means if I use all the columns, I get one data, means uniquely identify that rows. So this all column combination is called super key. Not only all column, 5 columns, 6 columns, 7 columns, does not matter as many columns I can. Does not matter as many columns I can. And super key can be possible contains null value. Remember, only primary key is something which cannot contain null. In case of super key, manager ID is null, possible. Super key, candidate key, that is possible, can contains null value, but they are used to uniquely identify. But the minimum super key means the minimum column, suppose this is where it is. Suppose here it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 columns, or maybe for example 7 columns. 7 column, if I'm using only 7 column, I'm getting only 1 row. If I'm using only 3 columns, I'm again getting 1 row. Only 1 column, I'm getting 1 row. The minimum super key is the primary key. Key means key, which is used to uniquely identify the data. 5 columns, 6 columns, 7 columns, 8 columns, 10 columns, does not matter. If I have a big bunch of columns able to uniquely identify the data, super key. And the minimum of super key means the minimum less number of columns, means you cannot go beyond that. Suppose 2 column combination, you cannot go below 2. When I've used these 2 columns, then only able to uniquely identify the data. The minimum super key is the primary key. Primary key can be optional, means it's not needed that every table must have primary key, but the table must have that candidate key, super key, whatever you can say. That possibly contains null value. Then in any of the attribute, because super key or candidate key may be possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11 columns. maybe one column, two column contains null value. It is possible. But in case of primary key, this is not possible. It is confirmed that a primary key must be a candidate key, but it is not confirmed that every candidate key must be a primary key. Because primary keys can, because the big combination, all this 11 column combination can be possible that this is the primary key. If I make it only 10 column combination, I'm getting duplicate data. If I'm using 11 column combination, then only I'm getting a single record. So that candidate key can be possible a primary key. That is okay. Sorry, a primary key can be possible a candidate key. That is okay. But a candidate key is the primary key is not correct. Because the concept of the primary key is I'm not accepting null value. Candidate key is a possible that maybe one attribute can contains null value. I hope you all are getting this question. Now, just one time is done. Anybody, any question you can ask me here. We discuss about only primary key, unique key, candidate key, super key, this key, that key, what key is about. Remember that line, one line funda. Key is a
Yeah.
key.
How can we remove the
Yeah, tell me,
Hi,
one by
Vishal.
one. Yeah,
So
Yeah.
let's say,
1 second, first. What? Wait, Ramasis, wait. Faninder, you tell me first. You ask the question first. Tell me.
how can we remove the primary key after creating? I mean, after inserting multiple data, multiple records? Can we remove the primary key for that column, particular column?
Yes, you can drop primary key. You can because when we discuss about constraint, then I will let you know you can disable and enable any primary key as well. You can disable and you can enable everything. If you want to enable, you want to disable, anything you can do. Alter table name, enable constraint name, or disable constraint name, you can do. We discuss about constraint. We discuss about foreign key first, then we discuss constraint, then I will let you know. Yes, because primary key also part of constraint. Then I will let you know about disable and enable. But yes, what you are saying that after creating a primary key, can I remove it? Yes, you can remove it by disabling that or by dropping that. Both options are available. Simple command, alter table name, drop constraint name, or alter table name, disable constraint name. Both options are available. When we discuss about constraint, I will let you know more about it, what exactly the constraint is. Okay, now Ramasis, Dhananjay, you ask your question. Then Ramasis, I go. Dhananjay, you pinged me. It's okay. Ramasis, ask your question.
yeah. So as we discussed about, a table can have only one primary key, and also in composite key we can create multiple primary keys. So
No. Wait. Don't say I never said this. I said if more than one column used to uniquely identify the data, then I will call that primary key as a composite primary key. I never said composite primary key means multiple columns. No, never. Concept is, see, again, Rama says, never confuse concept. Concept is there is only one primary key. Primary key means what? Which is used to uniquely identify the data. The example I gave, Vishal, roll number 34, used to uniquely identify the data. One column. If I said two columns, means suppose primary key, Vishal plus grade 6, roll number 34, grade 6, two columns combination, which is used to uniquely identify the data, then I call it composite primary key. But primary key is only one in the table. The concept I discussed, can I create more than one primary key? Then you can say obviously no. Then you say, but we can mimic it by using, if I have a unique key, I can make it unique key plus not null combination. If I do, then I am actually theoretically, not practically, but not theoretically, but practically, I am able to make it two primary keys. This is what I said. So don't go confused with the concept. The concept is that we have only one primary key. We don't have two. This is what I discussed, the way of answering how to kill interviewer time. Got it?
No, Vishal, my question is that in composite primary key, so we can create multiple primary key, right?
No, yaar. Fir why you're saying this line? This is, let me 1 second. Sorry, everyone. First, when you ask any question, let's listen to what you are saying. Let me write what you're saying. In composite primary key, Vishal, this is what you are saying. In composite key, Vishal, can I create multiple primary key? This is what you said.
Yes, right.
How can you say multiple primary key? This is what I repeat multiple times, right? Primary key is only one primary key in the table. Composite primary key means more than one column. Composite primary key means more than one column. For example, you can go to this video available on the YouTube, start the first 5 minutes, repeat it first again. Composite primary key means more than one column. Suppose roll number 34 is score 50 out of 50, only one column, roll number. I'm able to uniquely identify who is the guy who scored 50 out of 50. But when principal says two columns, roll number 34, grade 6, two things come together to identify who is uniquely data. So then it is called composite primary key because more than one column. There is no multiple primary key. Please don't use this word. This word is wrong. No multiple primary key, multiple columns used to uniquely identify the data. Then it is called multiple primary keys. Sorry, you confuse me here. Composite primary key. There is never use this word composite primary key, please. Multiple primary key, please. Primary key is only one primary key in the table. Rajesh, you ask a question.
Vishal, that a fully functional dependency base, you told that we can create only one primary key. Means it is allow only one primary key. Can you tell
Fully
you how?
functional dependency is a concept. Fully functional dependency is a concept of database normalization. Who is saying if A and B used to uniquely identify C, then it is not possible that A alone can identify C or B alone can identify C.
Correct.
Right? Because of this concept, we are not allowed to create more than database is not allowing to create more than one primary keys.
That is the thing I didn't understand. Why like this?
Why like this?
Means,
Fully functional. Okay, think about it. Okay, I don't know. The concept of fully functional dependency. Fully functional dependency means what? Suppose I want to create. Suppose I want to cook something, right? I want to cook something, and for cooking I need. Suppose I want to make. I want to create khichdi. Okay, for I need dal plus rice. If these two combinations come, then only the khichdi will be prepared. It is not possible that dal alone can prepare khichdi or rice alone can prepare khichdi. If you prepare it, you call it some other thing. Only dal, only rice. The combination, if you want to create a khichdi, you make a combination of dal plus rice. These both are combination make it khichdi. It's not possible dal alone can do that or rice alone can do that. That's it. Simple.
okay, this concept I understand.
This concept is called fully functional dependency. If you go to Google and try to find out the concept of fully functional dependency, you can search because I have to go to first normal form, second normal form, third normal form, BCNF, fourth NF. I will discuss in very later stage of the session, normalization section. Right. So if you just want to make it for fully functional dependency, you can go and search. Right? And you can let me know. If you're not able to understand anything, you can ping me on my WhatsApp. Anybody else, any question?
Vishal, you said to stop the duplication, we have to do deferable,
No
no
validate.
validate.
Yes,
Right.
for this question, I gave the answer deferable, no validate. Yes.
If after creating a primary key over that column, do we need to change anything? Or
No. We cannot create a primary key. If you try to create a primary key, it gives you error that you cannot create it. If you remember my concept of the first table,
Yes,
2
yes.
days before I tell you, when you try to reduce a size, it will go and check each and every column of the database and see that what is the size of the column. When I tried at the time of reducing the size, modify table, alter table, modify column. Remember that lecture, lecture number 2?
Yes.
When I tell you this concept, it will go and check each and every record to find that they are able to fix in that size or not. Otherwise, it will stop you, not allow you to decrease the size. Same way, when you try to create a primary key, it will go and check in each and every record and see if there is any duplicacy, it will stop. Sorry, I cannot create a primary key because the concept of primary key and unique key is that there is no duplicacy. But I have to do that and I cannot delete duplicate data. So the concept of deferable no validity will come. What is deferable? I will discuss more in detail when I go to the foreign key. No validate means, understand it, no validate means don't validate anything previous. Whatever I did in my past, don't validate it. I am very loyal to you from now onwards. This is the concept. So no validate is saying whatever I did in my past, please stop. Don't check anything in my past, but from now onwards, I will not allow any duplicate value. Simple. This is the concept of deferable, no validate. In type of deferable, I will discuss more in detail when I go to the foreign key concept, because I don't want to make the topic here and there. I will just straight with the topic one by one. Okay. So I hope it is good for you. Thank you, Abhishek, and you can stop the session. from YouTube. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I will
Thank you,
send you all the
Deeksha.
notes by tomorrow.
Thank you.